liftoff of the Delta rocket carrying.
Welcome to Skyrocketing Your Career. This is an amazing podcast. We already had few of them guests, and today we have Mind Architect, Saurabh Jaiswal. Sir, it's a privilege to have you on the screen with me. And
thank you, Mr. Arif, for inviting me for this podcast. I am Dr. Saurabh Jaiswal, MBBS MD Neuropsychiatry. I am a consultant neuropsychiatric practitioner in Lucknow, and I am here to give my inputs over how to have a growth mindset for the working personals.
Whenever we talk about office and all that, the first thing that strikes is stress, correct? And the best person that we could think of at that point in time is either a psychologist or a psychiatrist who will guide us. What exactly is stress and how do we manage it and how do we go about
it? Stress is basically how it is defined in the field of psychology. It's not something which is dependent on the outward pressures or forces or the work or anything from outside. Stress is something which is created when there is imbalance between what the outside situations have had been and what the trial and the things which are being done by the individual. If there is a discrepancy between those two things, then stress is created. So there are various coping mechanisms to prevent those stressful situations or to prevent a person landing up into a stress disorder, which is a psychological disorder. So first we have to recognize and then we can proceed.
Sure. Now, Saurabh, the question is, when you're saying what is inside and outside, there's an imbalance. So what exactly are you talking from an imbalance? Is it that I am overwhelmed with the situation around and hence I'm getting stressed? Or how is it? If you can be a little more descriptive, then probably we'll be able to get a little more insights onto it.
Yeah, imbalance between inside and outside means key, like for giving example for a working professional, like some project has been allotted to an individual and then deadline has been given. So what our tendencies have been, we try to like not start the work when we think it should be started. Everyone knows if the deadline is there and everyone has a basic rough idea of the structure which has to be followed so that it can be completed smoothly till the deadline. But how the human mind works, it works for basically it focuses on instant gratification. And there the problem arises. Like if the deadline is 3 months away, then what the instant gratification says, okay, let's postpone it till at least till tomorrow. We can start from tomorrow onwards. And a little thing goes on in the project, and major part of the bulk of the project gets it gets postponed till the last few days of the project. And in the last few days, the feeling, the tension, the anxiety, the distress, the insomnia which arises, these all constitutes the stress. So in that sense, there is not a problem with the outward forces or outward projects. If there is a balance, if the ideal situations had been continued, then the life of that in a particular individual would not have had been that much stressful.
Wow, these are like mind-blowing things, correct? So it means I am procrastinating and my procrastination is getting to a state that it's becoming stress. I'm sure there are a few situations where the ad hoc work comes in, but the things that can be planned is if you start to plan and execute on a daily basis, we will live a less stressful life is what you're telling me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's a mind-blowing insights. But we being we, correct, the way our mind works. So you talked about instant gratification. How do we overcome that? How do we manage that so that we don't get into a stressful situation?
Yeah, definitely. So there are three principles of the mind which has been described by famous psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud, which is something like this. He has divided the psychological part of the brain into three parts. First is id, second is ego, and third is superego. So basically, to have a brief idea about all these three, what is id, what is ego, and what is superego. Id means animalistic instinct, like when a child is born, or when a child is very small, like 2 years, 3 years, what he or she wants is chocolate. And however hard you try to explain him or her, no, chocolate is bad, it will spoil your teeth and all this and that, he will always want chocolate right now. If there is some toy and he wants that toy, so he is not able to wait for that toy till tomorrow or till next month when the salary comes. He wants that toy right now. So that key things are needed right now is a part of id. So it is one part of the brain. Now the third part of the brain is superego. Superego is the moral part. So the moral part says, no, we should not use toys right now. We should not have chocolates right now. And this is the idealistic part. And then comes the major bulk, which is ego. So the work of ego is to maintain a balance between the id, which is the animalistic part, and ego, which is the moralistic part of the individual. So the instant gratification part is the generalization of the id itself, in a sense that when the child grows, even then the ego has to fight what is the right thing to do. Like the example which I have given just now, if a project has been given, the deadline has been set for 3 months, for example. So the moralistic part says, the superego says, you should start from day one itself, so that things will go easier and it will be completed. And the id part of the mind says, no, I should go for a dinner tonight. A new movie has come into the theater or the Netflix. I should watch it right now. I should just take a break because it's the first day, second day, third day, so it won't matter. And the work of ego is to maintain a balance, in a sense there should be some pleasures in life, but there should be also focus in controlling the life, in structuring the life in such a way that the deadline is met. So these can be managed by coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms means we have to see where we are lagging. So each individual has different problems and different situations, and these all can be dealt on an individual basis.
Excellent. So ideally, the ego is the one that, not ego as a person, but ego as a brain part is the one who regulates everything around.
Regulates and fights between id and superego.
I think somebody who has a control over that or becomes more sensible is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
excellent.
Definitely.
Yeah, but how do we figure that out? What range I am in, and how would I regulate that appropriately? Do I have control over it, or it is more of a brain that takes over it, or my upbringing?
Basically, speaking in practical terms, no one has total control over ego part, the things which control between id and superego. No one has total control. And no one has totally lost it, except from some psychotic individuals which are actually having some problems. No one has actually lost it. So we are all in the middle somewhere. Like we have sometimes be able to manage, sometimes we are not able to manage. It's just that we have to be more mindful, which is a technique. Mindful is not just a word. It is a process, psychological process. And we have to be more mindful whatever things which are going within us. And in that sense, we can consciously decide right now what we are doing, is it right and wrong? And from that develops a sense of discipline. So discipline defined as doing the things which you should you should be doing, and you are doing it at the given time. That's discipline.
Excellent. Correct. Now you're saying mindfulness and discipline or the habits are one and the same, and they form into the same gamut of stuff that you can control, and then that's how you will be able to build a
Yes,
better
exactly.
mindset. Correct. And but how do we build the habits, or how do we build that mechanism in us consciously? What do we do for to have one?
Basically, we have to find out where we are lagging. Like procrastination is just one, it's major, but it's just one of the reasons why people are not able to meet the deadline. So
Mm-hmm.
the major reason is procrastination, but procrastination is not itself is something which can be dealt per se. We have to just find the reason why people are procrastinating. So there are some reasons why people are procrastinating. uh, One of the basic reason why people do procrastinate if given a deadline, they think that the deadline is 3 months away and they have the ability to complete it within 1 month. So why
Wow.
to work for 3 months when they are able to complete it within 1 month only? So like the first month should go in like enjoyment and all. The second month, okay, I will do some work, and in third month I will work hard. So setting a target which you think is appropriate to your level of skills will raise your energy level, will raise your enthusiasm, will raise your will, and you will be able to get out of procrastination in a quicker way. So it is one of the reasons for procrastination. There are several other reasons which includes the schedule, the timetable has not been set up properly, the time management part has been not been dealt properly. Discipline in itself being a habit is a conscious habit which should be cultivated, and then it will show its effect. So it's not such that like if I am given a deadline of 3 months, I will be disciplined from right now. I have to cultivate it, and then it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes an autonomous process. Till then, it
Wow.
has to be worked on. So these
Excellent.
are all combination of things which makes the ego part easy for the person.
Wow. So you may the ideal thing that you're telling me is first build a discipline and then take consistent actions on an everyday basis is what will make you a better person who will control the ego of a brain. Correct?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Yeah. And these are so many insights about, thank you so much for enlightening us. I will take it a little further up. And then when somebody talks about, correct, mindset, we've heard a lot about it. And of late we are hearing about growth mindset and all that. Now I understand that, there is an ego piece of a brain that regulates the rational thinking and the child brain as well. Correct. That's the one that it's regulating around.
Mm.
So how do we do we really need to have a what should I say, growth mindset to be successful in life? And what is growth mindset?
Well, according to me, growth mindset is a very large domain or field. But according to me, growth mindset starting from the mindset first discussion, mindset is something a person has over the years, over his lifetime, how the person has a pattern of thinking, a pattern of behaving, a pattern of perceiving things, a pattern of thinking the things in a particular direction. These all create a mindset. So
Wow.
the people say there are positive mindset and negative mindset. It generally means ki if the mindset makes a person's life to go towards a positive side, then we can call it the person is having a positive mindset. Positive side means he is having more success financially, emotionally, in family life, in his physical life, body health and all. If he is going towards a positive side, then we can say he's having a positive mindset. And if he is going towards a negative side, such as he is having psychological problems, physical problems, obesity, bodily problems, or financial problems, or he is broke, totally broke, then we can say he is having a negative mindset. Now coming to the professional part, what is growth mindset and what is the opposite, which is stagnant mindset. So stagnant means something which is not moving, basically. and growth means which is something moving. So the basic difference is key until and unless something is moving, it will not go any further. A thing which is however great something is, if it's stagnant, it will ultimately decay, it will ultimately wear off. So to call a person successful, the growth is a must. We cannot call a person successful who is having a large sum of money and he is just putting it in his or her bank, and we cannot call him or her a successful person. Success means it should have a domain of growth. So how the growth comes? Growth comes with a growth mindset. Now, how this growth mindset can be developed? There are, according to me, there are three things which stops a person from developing a growth mindset. First, the comfort zone. Now, what is a comfort zone? Comfort zone means when a person has achieved something, which is like he is having a little bit stability in his life, financially, emotionally, family-wise, health-wise, and he is pseudo-satisfied, falsely satisfied. And he thinks, okay, I have achieved something, now I can have a little bit of pause or a little bit of rest, and he's comfortable. Like an individual who has a potential of earning in crores, and he is earning in lakhs, and he is satisfied. Okay, I am earning in lakhs, and my life is easy, my life is going. So let's rest, let's enjoy life. So that's stagnant mindset. And that's the person is living in a zone which is comfort zone. Even if he or she sees a possibility of growth, even then he will not move out of the comfort zone. So that's the definition of the comfort zone. It means if the person is earning, for example, 1 lakh per month, and he is okay, and he is satisfied, and he's in comfort zone. And if he gets an opportunity to earn 2 lakhs, but by doing a little bit more of work, and he will not be doing that because he's in such a position that he will not be moving out of his comfort zone, and that is making him stagnant. Second is learned helplessness. Learned helplessness means it's a psychological term again. I will just give you a brief example because it will be very difficult to make you understand. A brief example means I will be just giving you an experiment which was actually done by psychologists decades back. What happened was there was a swan, there was a dog, and he was given food, and he ate the food. He had saliva and he ate the food on day 1. Day 2, he was given food and he was just bitten by the stick. So he was afraid. So he just approached the food with a reluctance. On 3rd day, he was bitten harder on the head. So 3rd day, he did not eat the food. 4th day, he was bitten even harder. 5th day, even harder. And the food was in front of him. So the dog made a conclusion. He might have made the conclusion that whenever the food is given to me and I am being hit, it means the owner wants me not to eat. So these practices continued for several days. On the 25th day, the food was given, and the food was in front of the dog, and he was starving because he has not even for so long time he was starving. And on that 25th day, he was not beaten. It was a part of the experiment. He was not beaten, but still he did not get up from his place and did not eat the food. Wow. So this is learned helplessness. Since the dog has been helpless in the last 24 days, he was helpless because he could not do anything. The food was given and he was bitten and he could not eat the food. So he was having a feeling of helplessness. And on the 25th day, he was not beaten. He was given the food, but not beaten. But still, he did not get up and ate that food, even when he was starving. So this is learned helplessness. So learned helplessness in professional life means okay, I am earning 1 lakh. Okay, I do not have the potential to earn more. Okay, like my colleagues are also in the same ratio. Some is earning a bit less, a bit more. So we all have only this much potential. So let's not do like anything much, and let's just be in the situation in which we are. Even though there is a lot of potential in each and every one of us to grow further, and we all have endless potentials.
Excellent,
So
correct. I will add this little point here.
yes.
Generally in offices, correct, when there is an internal job posting or when there is a opening for a new promotion to happen, a lot of people apply. Okay, they are talented, they are less talented, more talented, but there are people who we think is the potential to move. So a lot of times, correct, the people who are aspiring, they apply. Supposedly they don't get through because of XYZ reasons. Second time they apply, they don't go through. Third time they apply, they don't get through. Instead of trying again, what they do is they give up, saying that everything is fixed and everything is all pre-decided. So I will not even do that because everything is fixed now. And what I'm doing now, I think the perfect example that you gave, correct, learned helplessness. Now I will get into the emotions of saying, everything is fixed. I'm not growing. I cannot grow. These people don't want me to grow. And all these reasoning and explanation, and everybody around me is a villain. They don't like me. And I think all this is another wonderful, loop that somebody gets into. And then I think that's where they stagnate. That's where they have dissatisfaction at work and all of this, correct? Now I'm able to relate a lot that you're trying to tell me. Thank you so much for getting into so many in depths and talking about it. And no doubt we called you here. Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay.
So what's the third piece to it? Sorry.
Yeah, the third point was the path of least resistance. It means ki, if there are several ways to complete a project, for example, if a project has been given with a deadline of 3 months, and there are 3 ways, I don't know, maybe like first way maybe giving it to the junior, second way is taking help of professionals, or third way maybe some other way. So people who are choosing the path of least resistance will always be in a phase of stagnation. They will not be in a phase of growth mindset. So the path of least resistance means it's easier path, and that's why most of the people do go for that path. And being successful means it has an ingrained part that you do not have to do what most of the people are doing, because if you want to be more successful than the rest of them, then you have to do something different from the rest of them. So if you are following the path of least resistance, which is the easier path, like for example, I have to build my body, for example, this is a goal which I have set for myself. So there can be several ways. I can go for dieting, I can go for gymming, I can go for jogging, or I can go for like basic surgeries, or this and that. So the hardest path would be I would be going for jogging. I would be going for gymming. So that's the reason very few people do regularly go to gym and do regularly do the things which needs to be done, like building body, building muscles, and keeping their diet at certain levels, high protein, low carbohydrate, and all those stuff. And what most people do is the path of least resistance. So least resistance means after first day of going to gym, so what's the least resistance? Least resistance means, okay, I am so tired. Okay, I should need 1 day of rest, 2 days of rest. Okay. So 80 to 90 people will go through that phase. And that's the way that the gym owners do make money, because they lose a lot of people, and they already know only 10-20% people are going to be regular, and all the rest will be dropping off within first couple of weeks only. So the path of least resistance means the easier way is always, everyone wants to follow the easier way, but it will never ever make people more successful. So these are the 3 rules for making a person to move from stagnant mindset to growth mindset.
These are all mind-blowing stuff that you're talking to me. Saurabh. And I know we know each other for a while now, but thank you so much for making it so much detailed, correct? Now I know why only they say top 10% of the performers will be, the high profile, or would they get promotions and all that. It is all about, least resistance, correct? Most of them are like comfortable with whatever they are doing. These are the ones who scale up, take up initiatives, take up the tougher work, which is apart from their regular work, and that's how they try progressing. And the rest all settle for, you know, it's okay, whatever is there, and then we will just be happy with thing. Now you term that as a least resistance. So thank you so much for making me enlighten about a lot of these things, correct? We knew all these, but giving them a word and explaining what happens in your brain and why it is and why that. And thank you so much for bringing all this knowledge to us. And thank you so much. Now I have this, I'll take this conversation a little further, correct? It's getting a little more interesting. Now if somebody is in the growth mindset and they know that they need to take actions, they need to do every day something or the other to be there as a habit and all that, but is it possible to always stay on top? Don't they go through ups and downs and the emotions and all that, or they're always like that right at the top, at the peak of their performance?
It's practically impossible, except from few gifted individuals, to maintain a same level of mindset throughout the life.
Wow.
And I being a doctor, I do see the patient of addiction. I am comparing it with particular patients of addiction, because the motivation pathway, the pathway which is involved in motivation, like a child gets first rank in the class, so he is motivated to again get first rank in next class. So the motivation pathway in the brain is activated. In the same way, a patient with chronic addiction, in the same way, the same pathway is activated. So what we tell to the patient with addiction, like if a patient with addiction comes to us and he has been sober for quite some time, like for a few months, 1 to 2 months, he has not taken any alcohol or any drug which he has been already taking, there would be times when he would be failing. And there would be times when friends would be coming at his home and will be saying, okay, let's go, let's have a drink, nothing's bad, and he might have been taking. So these are called as relapses, which does not signify that patient has failed. It basically means that it's a part of the journey, and there will be lots of relapses in between, and the person has to come on the regular track. And he has to be motivated enough to come on the regular track. No one is practically, no one is ever going to maintain same level of mindset throughout his life. It's not possible. We are emotional beings, we are social beings, we do have social problems, emotional problems, financial problems. We do get low moods, high moods, euphoria, depression. We all go through those kind of situations. So life is a roller coaster ride. It's not a highway ride. So it will be ups and downs. Maintaining your calm, your inside calmness and peacefulness and your focus is the ultimate thing.
Wow. Thank you so much for putting all these golden words, correct? Now I understand the meaning of hustling, correct? Whenever they say that you have a growth mindset, and then not every day is same. There are days up and there are lows as well that you will hit. It is all because of this aspect of it, correct? Which is hustle, and then you can't always be at the peak of your thing. There will be days that you will fall. There will be days that you will pick up together and then move forward. I think the whole concept is about hustling every day to be your best every day, and then that's how you achieve your success. But if you're laid back and if you have least resistance and you are in your comfort zone, there's nothing that's going to come your way. But even if you are at the right at the top, staying at the top is again a hustle where you will challenge yourself multiple times in terms of successes, failures, and all that. And that's how they say, correct? If you have a growth mindset, you will win and you will also lose. But the whole gist is about trying every day to be your best version of yourself. I think mind-blowing insights about all of these. Thank you so much. I didn't think that
Thank you.
this is how much I'll take this conversation a little further up, and then I will ask about this question. Correct? You talked about people right at the top, they're staying, they can't stay, but as much they'll have to struggle to be there right at the top and the peak of their performance. But how do I identify when somebody is falling or getting into this failure mode, or things are getting overwhelmed for them? How do I recognize that? And what do I do to go up again? And if it is really serious, when do I think that I will have to have a medical assistance that I would need?
Okay, thanks for asking this question, because it's a tricky question. Tricky in the sense because the emotions which are created by the mind, the same mind will be having a difficulty in seeing those emotions and identifying those emotions and identifying that it's the right time to see a professional, because the things have gone above the head. So the same mind will be having a difficulty in recognizing his or her own problem. So there comes a role of a proper consultation. Proper consultation means like when the family members do get to notice the person's behavior has been changing for a considerable period of time, like considerable means if there is a death in the family, there is an unfortunate event and death in the family. So the grief reaction, the ideal grief reaction, the period of low mood should remain for a period of around 21 days. So that's an average. So if we are seeing that a person is having low mood continuously for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and he's not able to come out of that situation, then it's a clear red flag sign that he needs a professional help or some kind of assessment, and might be some kind of therapy or medications. Now coming to the professional part, the stress part, how the professional life creates stress. It means that the stress is something which is not only in the mind. It generally percolates in the body also. Like if a person is having a stressful work condition, his biological functions will be disturbed. Biological functions means like the things which biology governs, such as sleep, such as appetite, his mood. These all will be disturbed, apart from the stress, apart from the mental stress which the person is having. So a person who is having chronic stress, he might be having a problem going to sleep, or he might be having problem in between the sleep. He might be getting up several times during the sleep, or he might be having problem in the early morning awakening, like a person's usual time of getting up in the morning is 7 a.m. And if a person is very stressful, he might be getting up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. and he might not be able to go back to sleep again. So these are the changes in sleep pattern. His appetite may be disturbed. Either it can be increased. A few person with stress do tend to eat more. It's not always key. A person with stress will always eat less. It's not fixed. So it is seen that person with stress sometimes do get to eat more, and sometimes do get to gain a lot of weight due to stress. And it has also been seen due to stress, person's dietary habits have been changed and he or she has started eating less. So these are the biological things which can be seen very clearly by the person itself or his or her close family members. And his mood will always be, the word is used in psychology, the word which is used is persistent and pervasive. Persistent and pervasive means his mood will be low, irritable or anxious, which is persistent. Even like if the family members or friend will say, okay, let's go to movie has come, or in the theater, or let's go to dinner, even then he will be having low mood, irritation, anxiety, feeling of palpitation. He will still be having those feelings in a restaurant also, in theater also. So it indicates that things are going above the line. and he requires some kind of external help. So if there is any professional help or any counselor around the house, he or she should be consulted. And basic psychological tests, which are in the form of some basic questionnaires from 10 questions to 20 questions to 100 questions. It might range in different scenarios, and we have to just fill up those questions so that we can rate how a normal individual should be, how a normal individual's mindset should be, and how the patient's mindset is, and we can know the difference, and we can say if he or she requires any kind of psychological or medical help or not.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being so detailed, and thank you so much for talking us through different aspects of psychology in a career and a personal life, and how do I maintain wherever my high performance and all that. Thank you so much, Jaiswal. And I have this question here. What is that you would want to leave our audience with as a last question for you? Any final thoughts that you want to leave my audience with?
The basic things which I believe is every individual has been born for some reason. So we call it ergonomy. So a person or an instrument is designed to work in a certain situation in the most efficient way.
Okay.
And it's for an individual, because an individual is a very complex mechanism. A human mind is the most complex mechanism in the whole universe. So to know what works perfect is not an easy task. It will definitely take some time to find what's best suited for an individual, what field is best suited for an individual, or what stream is best suited. And there is no doubt if he or she is in that stream or in that profession or in that thing, then he will have unlimited potential to grow, and he will be having the true happiness, the true success, and true well-being. So I would just suggest that everyone should find what satisfies him or her, and how can he go into that field so that he can achieve what he is born to achieve.
Excellent, correct. It is not about which career is paying me more. It is all about how content and happy you are doing something, and then chasing that will get the best out of you and make your career a better career, and life or a world a better place to live. Did I just it properly?
Yeah, definitely. Yes,
okay.
True.
Thank you so much for coming on the platform and giving us so many details. And I really appreciate you coming onto the platform. Thank you so much for being here. So
thank you.
Take care, and bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Good night.
Bye. Sure.